In this episode, we take a look at how to process what people on their reservation call Indian corn. This corn is used for many family functions, traditional ceremonies, and funerals. Oftentimes, families come together to process the corn, as it is a big undertaking and a tall order for one person to fulfill. Because of how hard it is to process, some see it as a dying form of growing traditional food. It is easier just to go to the store and purchase corn. However, there is a special taste that this corn possesses. This corn is planted and takes about 16 weeks to grow.
When you get the seed, you got to prep the ground with plowing, disking. We use a planter, a back tractor. There's people that still hand plant it, but plant the seed about 2 inches deep in the soil. It takes about 16 weeks to develop. During that time, you're out there, you're keeping the grass and weeds out of it, tending to it like you would any other garden. You pick the corn at a milky stage, so the corn has to be real milky in order to process it like we do and dry it down. So this is at that milky stage. You should be able to pop it. Just pops juice right out of there. And we call it a milky stage.
That's when you know it's ready?
That's when you know it's ready. So this is an all white corn, so we're not going to see any color. So around in our area we have a colored corn, so it'll have blues, reds, different colors in it, purples. Really pretty. If it doesn't pop and squirt juice out, it's too dry. It's already used for seed. So we'll just continue to dry it on the cob and it'll be seed.
Once it's ready, a crew has to go out and pick the corn manually, hand picking. The more tools and hauling equipment, the better. Row by row, they pick the corn and throw it in to be hauled to the processing site. Once a load is ready, they drive to the processing site and dump the corn. That's where another crew sits and husks the corn. A lot of times, stories are shared and memories help with the processing of getting this task done. Once it's husked, the corn goes into a blanching process. To set this station up also takes a lot of work. Families have to pre-plan. Wood to make the fire is one of the major items needed. Cutting the wood, then hauling the wood to the processing site. They also need water. Many times they have to haul the water to the processing site. Once the husked corn is ready, they place the corn cobs in the water for 5 to 8 minutes. After it comes out of the fire, the next process is to take each kernel off the corn, using a method that is both time-consuming and rigorous, but very important. Go between the kernel rolls, lifting up, thus taking off the corn kernel. Some may wonder, why not just use a knife? Elders say that the heart of the kernel is preserved by using this process, and this is where the unique taste lies.
Processed down and taken off. It's in a whole kernel that has that whole seed there. It's taken and put on screens to dry.
After the kernels are taken off the cob, the next process is to dry. Some families let Mother Nature do the drying by setting up wood screens and laying out the corn in the sun. The wind and the sun dries and preserves the corn. To speed up the process, some families have devised unique screens with air fans attached to them. If this process is not done, the corn could be subject to mold. After it is dry for 2 days, it's packaged in quart-sized bags. They refrigerate it until it's time to be used. Once it's ready to be used, they soak it in water and cook in a form of a soup. One of the favorite delicacies is what is called corn soup, which is mixed with deer meat or beef.
It's not really made for a profit, really. It was more for the community. We do sell it $30 a quart nowadays. It's a lot of work, a lot of hard work, sweat, labor, but $30 a quart. Or in some cases we'll donate it to families for funerals, and they cook it up for meals and stuff.
By no means is this way of processing corn an easy task, but many times families find the value with family time and sharing the food with others.